Why do so many people seem to fall apart after turning 80? One day they're independent, sharp, and doing well. And then, almost without warning, they seem to fade. Their energy drops, their memory falters, their spark disappears. Most people assume it's just aging, just genetics, just the way things go. But that's not the whole story, because in truth, there are 5 powerful, often overlooked reasons why so many people struggle after 80. And most of them have nothing to do with bad luck or broken bodies. They have everything to do with slow, quiet changes that sneak up on us. And if we don't catch them in time, they can rob us of years, not just in lifespan, but in the quality of the life we have left. But once you understand what's really going on, you can do something about it. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. You don't really notice it happening at first. Life just gets a little quieter. You stop going to the grocery store as often. Maybe someone else picks up your mail. You don't run into the usual faces anymore. The barista who knew your name, the neighbor who always waved, the guy at the bank who cracked the same corny joke every Friday. It's subtle, but powerful. Experts call it micro-social engagement. Those tiny, everyday interactions that don't seem like much, but actually keep our nervous system stimulated, our minds sharp, and our spirits grounded. They're not deep conversations or emotional support systems. They're small touch points, moments of recognition, shared presence, human rhythm. But after 80, many people start to lose those interactions without even realizing it. It starts with a few missed errands. Maybe your knees don't feel as strong. Maybe your hearing makes chatting in public harder. So you stay home. You let your son grab the groceries. You avoid the noise of crowded places. You think you're simplifying life. But in reality, you're shrinking your world. I knew a man named Frank, 82, former high school principal. Sharp as a tack, everyone loved him. But over time, he stopped going out. First it was the winter weather, then it was the hassle of walking to the corner cafe. He told himself it wasn't a big deal. But within a year, Frank had changed. His memory seemed foggier. He laughed less. He felt flat, not depressed, just disengaged. The spark was gone. Turns out those little moments, saying good morning to a stranger, holding the door for someone, chatting with the guy at the checkout, they weren't just social niceties. They were his anchors to the world. And when those daily touch points disappear, so does something inside us. Research shows that even minor daily interactions reduce inflammation, improve mood, and keep cognitive networks active. They remind your brain that it's part of a living system. They remind your body it's needed. Without them, the brain begins to slow down, the emotional circuits quiet. Loneliness creeps in, not the kind that's easy to name, but the kind that shows up as fatigue, brain fog, or that strange feeling of being invisible. And the worst part? Most people don't realize it's happening. They think they're just getting older. But what they're really doing is disconnecting. You don't need a crowd. You just need contact. A good morning. How are you? A shared smile at the crosswalk. These micro moments matter. They are fuel for the aging mind. So if you found yourself pulling away, doing less, seeing fewer faces, don't ignore that. Reaching out, even in small ways, isn't a burden. It's medicine. Because when your brain hears that the world still sees you, still includes you, still cares, it gives your body permission to keep going. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. how the loss of movement, often caused by playing it too safe, can be just as dangerous as isolation. Let's be honest. Being careful seems like the wise thing to do as we age. You've earned the right to slow down, to take it easy, to avoid unnecessary risks. But here's the catch. Sometimes playing it safe can become the most dangerous thing of all. It often starts with a single scare. Maybe you slipped in the bathroom or felt a little dizzy while walking outside. You didn't fall, but it was close enough to shake you. So, you pull back. You skip your evening walk. You stop bending over to grab things off the floor. You sit more. You move less. And the people around you, they applaud it. Don't push it, they say. Better safe than sorry. But what they don't realize is that your strength isn't just disappearing naturally. It's being surrendered. There's a quiet truth that no one tells you. The body doesn't stop working because it gets old. It stops because we stop using it. I remember Martha. She was 85, full of energy, sharp, independent. But one rainy day, she slipped on her front steps. No injuries, just a scare. From that day on, she avoided going outside alone. Her walks stopped. So did her gardening. Within 6 months, her legs felt weak. Her balance faltered. Her confidence vanished. Her doctor told her she hadn't had a medical event. She'd had a behavioral one. She didn't stop walking because she was fragile. She became fragile because she stopped walking. You see, every movement you make keeps your body calibrated. Your balance, your coordination, your core muscles. These don't stay sharp on their own. They require motion. Even small daily movements are enough to send signals to your muscles, bones, and brain that you're still active, still here, still capable. That doesn't mean ignoring risks. Use the cane, install the grab bars, wear the better shoes, but don't give up movement altogether. Because when the body feels unneeded, it begins to shut down. And just like social isolation, this decline sneaks in gradually until one day you don't recognize yourself anymore. Next, we'll look at something even more subtle. How light exposure and poor sleep after 80 can quietly unravel your energy, your memory, and your mood without you ever noticing it. There's a silent clock inside your body that controls more than you think. Your energy, your mood, your immune system, even how your brain heals itself while you sleep. It's called your circadian rhythm. And after 80, it becomes more sensitive than ever. But here's the problem. Most people are unintentionally messing it up every single day. How? Too little natural light during the day and too much artificial light at night. Think about it. When's the last time you spent a full morning outside or sat in the sun with no screen in sight? Most older adults spend hours indoors, especially in the colder months. The curtains stay closed. The TV comes on early. The phone lights up your face long into the night. And without realizing it, your body's internal timing system falls out of sync. You see, natural light is what keeps your brain's internal clock on schedule. Bright light in the morning tells your body it's time to wake up, time to produce energy, to stay sharp and alert. And when darkness falls in the evening, your body naturally releases melatonin, a hormone that signals it's time to rest, reset, and repair. But if your mornings are dim and your nights are bright, that system breaks down. Suddenly, you can't fall asleep as easily, or you wake up tired, even after a full night in bed. You start taking naps in the afternoon, which throws things off even more. Over time, your memory gets fuzzier, your mood flattens, Your energy dips. You feel off. I knew a woman named Helen, 84, no major health issues, but she was always exhausted and forgetful. Her doctor ran all the tests. Nothing stood out. Then he asked about her light exposure. She admitted she spent most mornings in her dim kitchen and watched TV until midnight. He gave her 2 simple instructions. Sit by the window for 20 minutes every morning and turn off all screens 1 hour before bed. Within 2 weeks, she felt like herself again. That's how powerful light can be. And there's another layer, vitamin D. As we age, our ability to absorb and process vitamin D through the skin decreases. If you're not getting outside regularly, your bones, muscles, and immune system could be suffering too, and you won't feel the effects until much later. So here's your simple fix. Get outside in the morning, even for 5 minutes. Let the light hit your eyes and skin. In the evening, dim the lights, power down your screens, and let your body prepare to sleep. Because sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. And when your body forgets when to rest, it also forgets how to heal. Up next, we're going to explore a deeper, quieter threat, one that most people carry silently for years. Unspoken grief and emotional pain that can slowly wear down both body and mind. By the time someone reaches 80, they've likely said goodbye to more people than most can imagine. A spouse, a sibling, a lifelong friend, sometimes even a child. But the hardest part isn't just the loss. It's what happens afterward, the silence. You're expected to carry on. You're told to be strong. People check in for a week, maybe 2. Then life moves on for them. But for you, something inside stays frozen. And here's what no one tells you. Grief that isn't spoken doesn't go away. It settles into your body. I once met a man named George. He was 86, had lost his wife of 60 years. He didn't cry. He didn't talk much about it. Said he was managing. But within months, he'd stopped sleeping well. He lost weight. He withdrew from his senior group. His doctor couldn't find anything physically wrong, but something was wrong. George wasn't sick. He was holding sorrow his body didn't know how to carry. He didn't have a space to release it, so it began to weigh him down in quiet ways that looked like fatigue, poor appetite, and restlessness. This isn't just emotional. Studies show that suppressed grief can increase inflammation, disrupt hormones, and even weaken the immune system. It creates a kind of internal tension that leaves your body stuck in survival mode. It's easy to overlook. You may seem fine on the outside, but if you feel like your shoulders are heavier, your breath shorter, your heart quieter, this might be why. And here's the truth. Expressing pain is not weakness. It's survival. Whether it's a friend, a journal, a prayer, or a counselor, find your outlet. You don't have to get over it. You just need to let it move through you, even in pieces. Because when we don't process our grief, we bury it. And what we bury begins to harden until it steals not just our joy, but our vitality. And if this resonates with you, even just a little, know this. You are not alone, and you are still allowed to feel no matter how much time has passed. Next, let's talk about the final invisible thread that keeps us going, or lets us slip away, the slow loss of daily purpose. Not having a reason to wake up each day might sound like a small thing, but it's not. In fact, it might be one of the most powerful forces behind why so many people fade after 80. We often think of purpose as something grand, starting a nonprofit, writing a book, leaving a legacy. But that's not what I'm talking about. What really matters, especially as we age, is the simple kind of purpose. Watering the garden, feeding the cat, calling your grandson, folding the laundry, making soup for the neighbor down the street. Those quiet tasks don't just pass the time. They tell your body you're still needed. I once met a woman named Ruth. She was 88, lived alone, had arthritis, and didn't have much family left. But she had a ritual. Every Monday she wrote postcards to shut-ins at her church. Every Thursday she made soup and froze it for a local shelter. Every afternoon she sat by the window at 4 p.m. sharp to wave at the neighborhood kids walking home from school. It wasn't much, but it gave her days texture, rhythm, meaning. She told me, if I didn't have those kids to wave to, I think my heart would forget how to beat. And she was right. Research backs this up. Older adults who have a daily routine, a reason to move and contribute, even in tiny ways, tend to have better mental health, stronger immune systems, and longer lifespans. The body stays alive when it believes it's still useful. But when that rhythm fades, when your days feel empty, when no one depends on you, when you stop being the one who gives and start being the one who only receives, something changes. Your appetite drops, your sleep shifts, your motivation disappears, and your body begins to slow down, not because it's tired, but because it doesn't see a reason to keep pushing. So if your days have started to blend together, if the morning feels no different than the evening, it's time to rebuild your rhythm, not for productivity, not to be busy, but to feel relevant again, because even the smallest act of purpose can become the spark that keeps you going. If you've made it this far, take a breath. Really, pause for a moment, because what you've just heard isn't just information. It's a reminder that fading after 80 isn't fate. It's not automatic. It's not written in your genes. It happens in small, quiet steps, but it can be reversed. Start with one conversation, one walk, one moment of light, one honest emotion, one small purpose. You are still here, you still matter, and you are still needed. And if this video meant something to you, drop a comment below that says, "Still here." It lets us know you're out there. It reminds others they're not alone. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and share this with someone you care about. You never know what kind of difference it might make until it does. We'll see you in the next one.